Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Thursday. It's the last day of October, and it's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. You be safe out there tonight. Don't feed your kids too much of that genetically engineered candy. All right, so where are we going to go with this one? I have some housekeeping that I want to do. Documentaries coming out, things like that I just want to promote, share with you guys, things I find important. And then as for the latest headlines, I want to talk about the whistleblower situation, you know, that fake whistleblower from inside the White House. Some people are sharing around news as if it's breaking, as if it's recent, that this whistleblower has been identified and that we learned his name, when in fact that news isn't breaking at all. We figured that out weeks ago. Some of us did. So we'll take a look at that, the real situation of what's going on there. And then, you know, we'll jump around different topics, things that I find noteworthy to share with you guys. So let's begin. First of all, word up from a sponsor, and today's is Virtual Shield, VPN, virtual private network service, and just incredibly helpful to have to secure your IP address so it can't be tracked on the internet, and to encrypt your data, any important info that you're sending over the internet. Quite frankly, when I'm at home, I don't use a VPN all that much when I'm on my own network by myself, but when I'm out in public, surfing public Wi-Fi networks, 100% always use a VPN to keep your data protected. And you can check out Virtual Shields right now too. It's super cheap, just under $4 a month for the next 2 years if you sign up now. So links for that will be down below. Go check them out. And also want to let you guys know about my other YouTube channel. So I'm getting that up and running. I'm going to start posting videos there soon, calling it Conscious Strength. You can see got the logo ready and done for it there. And I'm going to be posting basically everything there that doesn't go on this channel. So I use this puppy for talking about the news and giving my thoughts on everything going on with the world. But with my Conscious Strength channel, I'm going to talk about everything going on with your individual self. So how to make our body stronger, how to make our minds stronger, everything like that. So go check it out. I don't know what I'm going to do with all the videos on there. I got like, I don't know, 30, 40 Destroying the Illusion-esque videos. Might keep them, might delete them, I don't know. But I'll be posting health vids on there very soon. A lot of content that Big Pharma ain't going to like. So we'll see if it stays up. Vaxxed. Shout out to Vaxxed, the sequel. Vaxxed 2 coming out in just a week on November 6th. And I'm incredibly excited for this one. Incredibly excited because the first documentary made huge waves 3 years ago. This one's only going to make more waves. It's already making some waves. And it's going to be great. A lot of fantastic names in there. A lot of classics in the natural health and vaccine truth field. So there you go. If you saw the videos that I did, I think I did a live video earlier this summer from the Autism One conference that I went to in Chicago. And I met a lot of the Vaxxed crew. I think I even interviewed the editor for Vaxxed 2 in that little live stream that I did from Autism One. So great people, great people. When that Vaxxed bus goes around the country, comes up the West Coast here, I'll definitely be looking out for it. And then another documentary coming out soon is one of my children. You know, the sequel to Above Majestic. It will be The Cosmic Secret, and that'll be out on November 19th. So I'm excited for this one as well. And a lot of woke movies coming out this season. A lot of good ones coming up. Cosmic Secret should be great. A lot of deep concepts will be in that one. And then back onto talking about Vaxxed really quick. So like I said, a lot of that hate is already coming Vaxxed's way. And this article came out of The Guardian just today. You can see the headline, Release of Vaxxed Sequel Prompts Fears. Dangerous propaganda will spread again. God, the projection is just awful. But what I want to point out here is that the highlighted photo that The Guardian used for their article here, that's a good friend of mine. That's my friend Tia. It's crazy. That's her. She actually makes the Organite for my website, for the store on my website. She makes most of the Organite on there. So that's my friend Tia. It's funny. It's crazy, you know. I was featured in this Vice article that came out a couple of days ago. There's Tia, front page of The Guardian. It's like they can try to attack the truths we speak as much as they want, but that's just free publicity. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish here. And if you want to talk about where the real propaganda comes from, that right there. All right, moving on. How about the Halloween costume of the year? Don't know if I should label it that, but this is just hilarious. It's half hilarious and half completely disappointing, but it was made by a comedian in Los Angeles, so it's all good, fun humor. Yeah, he was Epstein's temple for Halloween. I don't know how he pulled that off, but that's gold. I don't want to know what's under that temple there. No, I don't. And how about all those Jeffrey Epstein memes going around? God, they're so creative. And it's like the only meme I've seen for the last 3 or 4 days. But there's been thousands of them. And they're all incredible. This Snapple fact, a lot of other ones I've been sharing on Instagram and on Twitter. So let's talk Jeffrey Epstein. How about it? Jeffrey Epstein, this news coming out, what was it, yesterday? Maybe the day before. Jeffrey Epstein's autopsy more consistent with homicidal strangulation than suicide. Dr. Michael Baden reveals. He revealed that on Fox and Friends just the other morning. Now, here's the thing. Well, number one, if you remember, Dr. Michael Baden, we learned about his name a few weeks ago and figured out he's basically like that celebrity coroner who had a hit TV show, and he was instrumental in a lot of very high-profile cases. Well, he was hired to do this autopsy. Now, he's saying that it looks like Jeffrey Epstein didn't actually kill himself. Big surprise to a lot of us. But you know what's intriguing about this and that just I can't get out of my head? You know who hired Dr. Michael Baden? That is Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark. Mark Epstein hired him. So Mark Epstein, you know, the weird thing to me is that I can't find a proper motive here. Like, why would Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, be the one to hire this celebrity doctor and then go public with that? Like, it just seems weird to me, you know? That seems like something the deep state wouldn't want out there. Like, they don't want people questioning this as a suicide. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see how this plays out. And I'm wondering if I've seen a few people speculate this, and I don't really know the, ins and outs of the legal spectrum, but I'm wondering if Jeff Epstein's brother is trying to find a way to be able to sue the federal government for wrongful death in some way, shape, or form of his brother, and then try to gain control of Jeffrey Epstein's like $800 million assets. I'm wondering if that's the game that's being played here. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. But nevertheless, it's look a little bit deeper for the motives behind the articles sometimes. And you might see a little more. So that's that on Epstein. And let's talk about that fake whistleblower. The news going viral that's not really so breaking. So this article came out of Real Clear Investigations yesterday. And it was written by Paul Sperry here. Now, Paul Sperry is a good account on Twitter to follow. I like to follow that particular account, but this isn't breaking news. I've seen so many people on Twitter tweet this. Tweets go viral, get 50,000 likes. I saw Senator Rand Paul retweet this and a bunch that connected the dots and figured out his name. Fool Nelson. Fool Nelson there. And you can see the date on this, October 5th. So that's the first time we heard his name. I tweeted Fool Nelson. I retweeted it on October 11th once I caught wind of it. And there you go. I tweeted possible ID on our fake whistleblower. Ironically, CIA are the first 3 letters of his last name. Fitting. That's what I said. But there you go. It's important to note. It's important to give credit to who deserves the credit, right? So I'll link his tweet below and you can see these sorts of things. But nevertheless, guy's name's out. Eric, supposedly. And there you go. Hang around sleuths like us and you'll find out a lot of these latest breaking stories a long time before they happen. Those of us who, hang out in the information dumpsters of the internet trying to dig up what we can. So there's that. And how about this take that's also going a little bit viral? This take on what's going on with the situation around the ISIS leader that was killed and Nancy Pelosi. This is interesting. I'm not sold on it, but there's just some pretty good dot connecting here that I feel worth relaying to you. And this was a post posted to Gab that, like I said, went viral. I saw it. Here's a screenshot of it. This particular person says, "Hear me out on this, please. And critical comments appreciated. I think Pelosi has a real problem with Syria and ISIS. The way she threw a tantrum when 45 Donald Trump pulled out of that 20-mile wide strip of Syria, right in the middle of Nancy Pelosi's brother's death and the impeachment circus, Pelosi has to take an emergency CODEL trip to Syria/Jordan. CODEL means congressional delegation, basically a paid trip over there. If you look at the timeline of when 45 says we pinned down the exact location of Baghdadi, it was exactly when Pelosi returned from her congressional delegation. Interesting, and that's true. I was actually watching and listening to the president when he was talking to the country and the media about al-Baghdadi being killed the other morning. And I did notice that. I noticed when he said, well, we've been surveying Baghdadi for about a couple of weeks. And I found that interesting, and some other people out there did too. And this guy then says, I think Pelosi met with Baghdadi on her CODEL or with his representatives, and Pelosi could be under surveillance right now and led us right to him. Again, don't know, but it's good. That's good thinking there. That's good thinking. And then also this international news, Israel's embassies being shut down worldwide as some of their envoys are going on strike. At least that's the reason that we're being told about this. So what it says here is that there's basically a dispute between foreign and defense ministries in Israel over expense stipends, basically over money, envoys not getting paid. Now, again, that's the excuse. That's the reason we're being told about this. I don't know. Seems a little odd that, like, worldwide they would close all the embassies and consulates like that over, like, a stipend dispute. I don't know. But some people as well are making the attempt to connect maybe this to whatever intelligence that they captured with Baghdadi, ISIS, and maybe connecting ISIS to Mossad or some deep state elements in Israel. Is that why this happened? Are they shutting down asylum to anybody trying to seek asylum at an Israeli embassy? You know, look at how many people in our government, or at least I know a few years ago, a lot of them had dual citizenship. You know, I'm not sure exactly what the case is now, but some interesting dots to connect there. FISA being brought up by Fox News. You know, they're just continuously reminding us about that impending FISA IG report and the conclusion to Durham's investigation. So every day they're reminding us, because that's one of the big cards that still has yet to be played, and is, in my opinion, going to be played very soon. But it's a very strategic card they have, and, you know, the big one. Let's see here. Let's move on to Flynn's case. So looks like Flynn's case, General Michael Flynn's case, could be getting very close to being thrown out. So the Federalist here, judge telling the government to respond to allegations it hid evidence from Michael Flynn's legal team. Michael Flynn's badass lawyer, Sidney Powell, filed a brief the other day claiming that the federal government was withholding exculpatory evidence that would clear Flynn's name. And the judge in Flynn's case, basically canceled a motion, like canceled the next court hearing to let the federal government respond to this. So as the author of this points out, it could mean two things. Could mean Sullivan had found the briefing sufficiently clear to allow him to render a decision on Powell's motion, or he's just giving him more time to respond. So getting close to Flynn's case getting thrown out, which is great. That has everything to do with FISA as well. The Epic Times here talking about the Finders disclosures. I mentioned this a couple of videos ago, and I've seen a few people on Twitter talk about it, but I have seen zero mainstream media organizations discuss this, except from the Epic Times and like a handful of them. It says right here, the FBI releases information on the Finders, a secretive group accused of child sex abuse. And if you dig into these documents, you'll actually find that they could have had intelligence community connects back in the 80s. Maybe the CIA covering for them or having connections there. So a lot of stuff coming to light, a lot of dark coming to light, guys. That's why I often say, you know, disclosure is everything. It's not just UFOs. It's not just the illegal FISA spying. It's everything. Everything. And it's not some like one-off day, disclosure day. It's a process. It's always ongoing. And we're going through the thick of it right now. And the last couple things I want to share with you guys have to do with space. You know, that part of disclosure. This article going around last couple of days is this Air Force space plane. You've probably seen this before. There's been articles about it in the media over the last couple of years, as long as it's been up in space. But this, what they're calling top secret space plane, lands in Florida after spending over 2 years in orbit. This is that X-37 secret space plane. Granted, if there's a Gizmodo article being ran about it, how secret is it really? And the point here that I want to make is that you got to understand how much in regards to space that we've been given over the last 50 years is all a smokescreen. It's a smokescreen, it's a facade, it's, you know, they're putting all this stuff out into the public domain to make you think it's the latest and greatest and most advanced in research and development, when they're really keeping the most advanced stuff far, far away from the media, way in the secret programs in the basement, right? This right here, you can see it's a glorified space shuttle, basically. Still using rockets, still unmanned, as they say. Doesn't even use anti-gravity. It doesn't even use the sort of stuff that the black projects figured out 50, 60 years ago. You know, and when I'm talking about space and full UFO disclosure, I'm talking about the fact that some corporations and some government entities on our Earth, they've had anti-gravity technology since the 50s, if not earlier. They've spent billions, if not probably trillions of dollars with these projects developing out these anti-gravity and all sorts of other technologies. They've been doing that for decades, right? It goes very deep and it goes very far and expands the mind greatly, but that's why I'm here and that's why you're here, right? You're not here to have a decent awakening, a subpar awakening, right? You're here to have a great awakening. And that's all I have for you guys in this one. So thank you for tuning in. Have a fantastic Halloween. And I'll see you guys again very soon. Take care.